Boom, boom, boom. So, leveraging technology to achieve ancestral wellness. At Efficient Exercise, we use everything. Speaking of Malibu Mark, I forgot he was in that. There he is. So at Efficient Exercise, we will use everything. What you see right here is an ARX machine. What we're going to demonstrate in a little bit is a home version of this machine, but there's one of the machines we have actually in our studio. But along with that, you can see back here, we've got a rack, power rack back here, dumbbells. What you don't see back over in the front over here is a big area for body weight exercises. We also have a machine that looks like it came out of the Spanish Inquisition time. It's a leverage machine, which is a fantastic piece of equipment. So we will use everything. And the combination of these methods that we use allow us to drastically decrease the amount of time it takes for a person to work out. My preferred method of using resistance training to achieve health is using high-intensity interval resistance training. Well, what is that? If you're familiar with the Tabata studies, where there's a burst of activity and a scaled rest period, traditionally Tabata has been 20 seconds of burst of activity, 10 seconds recovery, wash, rinse, repeat 8 times, 4 minutes. And from that, essentially the study showed that middle distance runners trained in that fashion outperformed middle distance runners trained in a traditional fashion in a fraction of the amount of time. The only thing that I've done, and this is nothing new, this is not like I came up with this is just a mingling of ideas that I got initially at Powerhouse Gym way back when. But what I'll do is I'll use the same methodology using resistance exercise. So it's a burst of resistance exercise, typically 20 to 90 seconds, followed by a scaled recovery, depending on that person's metabolic fitness level. And then it's just, and then I'll pair that, and we'll just keep right on going for 30 minutes. And it's usually paired in a push-pull fashion. In other words, I might do a horizontal push, followed by a horizontal pull. And I'll use, again, everything from body weight exercises to the ARX equipment. I'm going to talk about the DEXA scan here for just a second, because one of the huge problems that we face as trainers is people focused on the scale weight. Okay, is my weight going up or is my weight going down? Which means nothing, right? So if I have a guy who wants to put on a lot of muscle mass, right, all he thinks about as the scale is increasing is that I must be putting on muscle mass. Well, no, you're probably putting on a lot of fat. Maybe a little bit of muscle, but it's going to be a lot of fat. On the other side of the coin, I'll have females coming in, and all they want to do is see the scale drop. But the problem is, what are you losing? Are you losing muscle mass or are you losing fat? Oprah Winfrey, back in, I don't know when this was exactly, I'm going to say late 80s, early 90s, sometime in there, she went on a diet and exercise program and lost 67 pounds of something. She claims it was fat, right? And this is a public perception. If she dropped weight, obviously that's fat. The problem is, the way she trained and the way she dieted, if she had a DEXA scan to document this, I would bet that of that 67 pounds that she just wheeled out there claiming it was fat, was probably 40 pounds of it was muscle. So we know what happened to Oprah following this, right? She ballooned right back up. Unfortunately, now she's got a smaller metabolic engine. She started with less muscle mass than what she started with when she was heavy, right? Yeah, anybody can lose weight. Anybody can drop weight by eating a crappy diet. I mean, it's called Dachau, right? I mean, those people lost some serious weight. They also lost a hell of a lot of muscle mass. So the DEXA scan, what this is, dual energy X-ray, it gives you a fantastic, Skylar will tell you that is not the optimum way to measure body fat. There are some other methods we can use, but practically, this is one of the best methods that you can use. Bod Pod is a close second. If any of you guys are interested in body composition, if you have access to a Bod Pod, that's pretty good as well. If you have access to a DEXA scan, that's even better, because DEXA scan will give you something that looks like this. Very, very accurate. And if you look at this right here from a psychological standpoint, I can't tell you how many people that I counsel that flip back to this page and look at that because they make that association. You can look at blood panel numbers, you can look at all these numbers, but you can't run from that. That's you. I mean, that's you on a page. You cannot run from that. So from a psychological standpoint, it's very, very powerful. So the Chris Shepler, this gentleman that I'm talking about, was a collegiate soccer player, was in fantastic shape apparently back when he played soccer. He came to me, he's 33 years old. This is what he looked like when he came to me. One look at him, obviously he's got problems, right? And I can tell you physically he couldn't do a single push-up, couldn't do a pull-up. I mean, he was in bad shape. This was his initial DEXA scan. If you look at this, look at that percent body fat, right? He was devastated when he saw that. And most people are when they actually get their DEXA scans. They're devastated by the results, especially females who consider themselves thin, say a size 6 that comes back, and they can have a body fat like that, and they are wigged out because they're like, I'm a size 6. Yeah, you're a size 6, but you know, what's your body composition, and that's what matters. Another interesting number, look at that. 84 pounds of fat. These are shocking numbers, right? And these are the kinds of numbers I can give my clients and go, look, we can change this, right? This is bad, all right? This isn't good right now, but we're gonna get a hell of a lot better. And now we have a benchmark, because I'll show you what comes up next. This is just regionalized. It's the same DEXA scan from him, but this is just regionalized. And if you can look look at that fat mass in the trunk, right, legs. So we went through, this is about after 5 or 6 weeks with Christmas and New Year's thrown into the mix, right? He's happy, right? We're making some serious progress here. Let me go back. So we're making some good progress. His body fat's actually coming down pretty good. Not bad. His lean mass is going up. Everything's looking good, right? I'm going to show you a picture here in just a second, but he would come in, he's feeling good, everything's tracking fantastic. His shirts are fitting tighter in the shoulders. They're ballooning in the waist. I mean, he's just, the belt's coming down. But the thing is, he's got a wedding coming up. And he's like, I've got to get my weight down even further. I want to get my weight down for this wedding. And we keep having this conversation about weight versus body composition, but he doesn't care. He's fixated on weight.